What's up, you beauties? Welcome to HW Hockey's YouTube channel. I think we're on season 8, episode 13. We're late trying to figure out what episode number this is. I'm your host, Jay Michkov, joined as always by Jack Smith. And if you're watching us live on YouTube or Twitter, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the alert so you never miss a show. For all the podcast listeners out there, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so you're first in line when newest episodes drop. Jack, how you making out over there? Were you able to find it?
No, I can't play anything. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we're in trouble. Maybe HW got in a little bit of trouble for something. I have no idea what for, but yeah, I'm struggling over here.
I guess we'll find out. So we have people watching on YouTube. So I'm going to assume that our YouTube works. So a lot to get to tonight, Jack. Season has kicked off. Flyers are 3 games in. Started out 1-1-1, some hard fought games. I want to get your impressions so far of the first 3 games. We have Matvei Michkov that we got to get to. And unfortunately, it's not, some of the things that we thought we were going to be talking about right out of the gates. We have some Owen Tippett rumors that we're going to get to. And we have Emil Andrae, once again, who we're going to talk about. But before we get to those things, let's kind of get the meat and potato things out of the way here. So, of course, as soon as we start, contacts get a little blurry here. So let me share my screen, and we'll bring up the Flyers schedule so far. All right. So they opened up in Florida on last Thursday night, and they fell to the Panthers by a final score of 2-1. Which, I don't think anybody was surprised with the loss there against the 2-time defending champions, even though they were without their top-line center in Sasha Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk. Flyers still went down 2-1. They looked like, fortunately or unfortunately, they looked like a typical Rick Tocchet team in that game, right? And I don't know what I was expecting, Jack. But I was a little bit, I don't want to say unimpressed, but if you were excited to watch the Flyers in that game, I think maybe if you were like me, you're a little bit let down throughout the course of that game. Were you not?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. I really thought that we lost something on our channel there. I was trying to get.
No, people are watching on there, so I think we're good.
I'll let it go. I'm going to let it go. Sorry. I was trying to retweet the show. It was giving me a hard time. And put it on Facebook. So say that one more time. I apologize.
No, so the Flyers opened up in Florida. They looked like a typical Rick Tocchet team. And, whether that's good or bad, for me, I just was saying that I was a little bit unimpressed. Not unimpressed, but unenthused. I was expecting to see maybe more fireworks. We didn't see much from Michkov, yada, yada. I know we're in game 3 and they looked much better this past Monday against Florida in a 5-2 win. But so far, Jack, what are your thoughts on how things are playing out with this team?
Well, to be honest, like the opening night, you're pumped up. The season's finally arrived. You're expecting a lot more. The Phillies just lost. I had a hell of a Thursday night, had everybody over, had 2 TVs going, and the Phillies completely, in one of the worst ways possible, shit the bed, for lack of a better term. And then the Flyers come on. Even the Eagles blew it. And it was look, they jumped out to a lead. They're playing, yes, as you pointed out, Barkov's not in, Tkachuk's not in, but it's still the defending Stanley Cup champions. I thought Vladar looked great, all things considered. If you want me to talk about these 3 games as a whole, first off, I truly believe they should be 2-1. Maybe we'll get into that in a little bit. But there's a lot of pieces. They were just slow to get going. I don't know how much I agree, at least early on, with some of the lines that were structured. I didn't see how that was going to work out. They had Delorier in the first night, which I thought was a mistake. I understand why they did it, but you can see once they started switching things around how much better the games got. I'm thinking about Grabenkin when I say that. I really can't blame too much on either goalie. I definitely think Vladar has played better. But even Urson giving up 4 goals, I almost can't blame him on the very last one. I thought he was pretty good at all things considered. And they played the defending champs twice. They played Carolina, who's constantly in the mix of it. And, we're also banged up. We don't have York. We don't have Ristolainen. The defensive corps that we put out there was pretty rough, to say the least. And I felt that they really didn't play all that bad. And, they should have won against the Carolina. In my opinion, they did win, and it's got a huge asterisk against it for, something we'll get into later. And then they looked good against Florida. So the very first game, it was a little bit of a letdown. But after that, I think they've been slowly picking it back up, putting it together. The big thing about that is the Michkov factor. And it's like, if anything was going to go right for this team, we figured it would be Michkov will hit the ground running. And he has, I think the one game, I think it was Carolina game, he had 0 shots on goal. Like, he's got no points. He looks obviously sluggish, and we've heard rumors as to why. I can't complain ultimately based on the roster that they saw. I can't complain for the results at this time. I truly believe they're 2-1 against some tough teams, and they're starting to come out of their shell a little bit. It's early goings. They're figuring things out. So, while it may have started off a little boring, I think they're starting to come together. I'm still willing to give them some time, but I really can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, they look okay, right? Like, especially Monday night, they look very good. For me, one of the things that I was looking for before the season started was Sean Couturier, right? Didn't look great playing under Tortorella. We know he was miserable. We know he was coming off 2 back surgeries. So all these factors come in. He looked cooked the last few years. End of last season, looked maybe rejuvenated or something different about him. First 2 games, I think it would be fair to say, he looked the same. But then last night, I think maybe we saw a glimpse. If he's out there with guys like Zegras, if he's out there with guys like Tippett, Konechny, Coots can still do it. He put the puck in the net, I think, twice in 2 assists, 4-point night against Florida. Now, he had a 5-point night last year, and I think he only finished around 40 points, something like that. So could very well happen again. But if you get Sean Couturier going with a 50-point season, 55-point season, that's a really good thing to have, right?
Oh, that'd be huge. Coots' play so far has been encouraging, to say the least. And, he took some big hits, too. Like, on the goal he got from the incredible Zegras pass, he had just gotten laid out. And he gets right back up and scores. There was another play where he had a close play against a goalie, and he was, like, airborne. And you know what? He's not the same guy. He never was the fastest skater to begin with. But he seems to be doing exactly what they need as the season starts to creep on. Nice, not shootout, a breakaway goal for him. I'm not saying one game is going to determine how a season's going to go, but it's encouraging to say the least. And there was another guy. I brought up the Zegras pass. He's a guy I think got off to a slow start in his first game. First 2 periods were a little meh. Started to come out of it in the third, and to see that pass, this is the guy who's supposed to be just known for skill, and he's taken on. I think it was Bennett and Ekblad who came after him. He sneaks out and gets a backhanded pass over to Coots to eventually that play won the game. And I apologize as we're getting all our updates from YouTube here. It seems like it's back up, it's back down, it's back up. So it sounds like it's not HW, it's YouTube. So sorry, a little distracting there, but I appreciate everybody letting us know because I could not figure it out to save my life. So yeah, just a point there. But one guy to point out that I really like to see get going, I haven't seen anything yet, is Travis Konechny. Now he's had some opportunities, but he hasn't quite buried them yet. And I believe I saw a stat where he has 4 goals in his last 40-something games or something. Obviously, that's going back to last year. But yeah, so, I'm not going to kill him for not scoring goals, but he's a guy I would like to see get going early. Again, it's the beginning of the season. You're playing some really good teams here, smart, defensively structured teams when they need to, even dirty and whatnot. But it's hard for me to point out somebody and say, outside of maybe Michkov, he's actively hurting the team. And even then, I don't think Michkov is hurting the team. I just don't think he's the guy we expect him to be. I brought up Rubenkin earlier. I thought the shifts he was out on with Luchenko looked pretty good. I don't think Luchenko had it in game 2, but in game 3, he popped. He was popping. They want him to shoot more. Let's not forget that. They definitely want him to do a little more shooting, a little less passing. But they're keeping them hemmed in their zone. This is the defending champs. They got them hemmed in their zone. You think they're going to lose possession and go to the bench? They steal the puck back. They get another scoring opportunity. Jet was starting to show his speed a little bit. And it was encouraging for sure. I'll try not to keep using that word, but we don't know what's going on with him or how it's going to end with him before he has to go back. And I got to say, like, for all like 50 minutes, maybe even a little bit less, they looked really good this past Monday against Florida. It was only a little lull in there when I thought they were falling back into some habits of, game of seasons past. They allow a stupid goal at the end of the right before the second intermission. They let Florida tie the game, although that was a passing clinic put on by Florida, but nevertheless, they let them get back into it. And normally a Flyers team in the past would fold and kind of go away and lose that game in regulation. They score, they hold it down, can't call goaltender interference if you get 2 empty net goals. And they come away with the first win of the season at the home opener. They honored Bertie Pront perfectly with the patch and numbers behind the goalpost. And my favorite, the goal mask is taking place of the belt or the Ric Flair. You're getting the goalie mask, the old school Perrant goalie mask. That was really cool. Went to Vladar, even though Coots was the best player. Coots, the captain, he's not going to give it to himself. So, and I got to be honest, I was talking on Twitter with some people, and we were all in agreement that Vladar so far in both games, it's like, look, he's not Hasek out there, but this is some quality goaltending. Like he's making first of all, he's big in the net, and he is making some plays that would normally cause all sorts of havoc for the Flyers look pretty routine. I'm talking 2-on-1s where the Flyers are on the power play and there's a shorthanded chance coming. He's shutting it down pretty smartly. Like if he can see the puck, he's usually making the save. There's not many goals I see with him. I'm like, yeah, well, he wishes he had that bat. I can't say that. I really, and that game could have there's several games could have gotten out of hand with him if he doesn't make saves early on. And every game they played has been tight. Every game. They lose 2-1 the first game. They go to overtime. They really win that game, but rules, again, overtime game. And then they win on Monday night 5-2. So, I mean, I think there's definitely in this early going, there's more to like than there is dislike. And one thing I will say was, and I believe it was only 9 or 10 minutes of ice time, Andrae looked pretty good too.
Oh, we can kick off with Andrae here. Undefeated with him in the lineup. But I guess didn't play. Yeah, look, we spent time talking about Andrae last week, and I can't really fake outrage. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Am I disappointed because I want to watch this kid? Is he better than Noah Juleson, Igor Zamula, Adam Ginning, Dennis Gilbert, whatever slop you're going to put on that bottom pair? Is he better than those guys? Yeah, he is. The reality is, I think, and I could easily check, I'll do it in a second here, of those players, besides Dennis Gilbert, he's the only one that has he can be sent down without being claimed. The other thing was, and this is a little bit of asinine way to think, Rick Tocchet said he wants the bigger defenders on the bottom pair to be able to play the PK, right? And while that makes sense, right? We talk about the bigger guys clogging up lanes, big bodies, boxing out in front of the goal, yada, yada, all the things that you don't think of when you think about Emil Andrae, which, okay, also makes sense. You don't really want Travis Sanheim blocking shots on your PK. I mean, you can put him on there, but you don't want him on your PK. If the Flyers are taking 5 penalties a game, you don't want 10 minutes of Sanheim on the PK, or they're going to wear his ass out midway through the season. So it makes sense. However, how backwards is that thinking? Just stop taking penalties. Some of the penalties they're taking are stupid. And Michkov's taken a few of them, and the penalties that they're taking, like when you start to see stupid hooking penalties or grabby penalties, those start to worry me a little bit, because I'm not sure that we saw a lot of those under Torts. I'm not sure we saw a lot of 5, 6, 7 penalty games under Torts. And usually when you see the grabby, the hooky penalties, it's because you're getting beat, and I'm not going to make a huge deal about that, right? Because it's the beginning of the season, and as the season wears on, they start playing more into game shape, yada, yada. It's why I'm not going to make a huge deal about Michkov, but we are going to talk about that for sure because that's something's weird going on there. But the reasons that he gave for sending Andrae down is, in my opinion, backwards thinking. Stop taking penalties. You're sending this guy's the most talented of the 4 guys that you're going to put on the bottom pair, and you're sending him down because you need guys on the penalty kill. Stop taking penalties. That's how you can keep him on the team.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing I thought would be better. Again, it's early, and Michkov's definitely guilty of a few of those, at least 2. And like you said, it's being beat. If you're out of shape, maybe you're getting beat. Something I thought would be a little bit better, but the whole thing when it comes to defending, sending Andrae down, it just feels like such an excuse. It's like we don't like him for whatever reason, but let's try to sell it to the fans. And we're going with penalties and penalty killing and defensive roles to certain players. I'm like, I just want to ice the best team possible. That's the way I look at it. And it's when I look at who's on the team and who shouldn't be playing, it's pretty clear that Andrae is better than the guys that they're forcing down our throats. Do I really give a rat's ass if Noel Juulsen's going to play penalty kill time? No, I don't. There's plenty of other players who can do that because your 2 power play units are going to be loaded up with forwards and maybe a Drysdale or a Sanheim or York here or an Andrae. He could do it. And you're going to have plenty of guys available to play PK. And I'm not worried about that. And for me, it's like York comes back, York, Sanheim, Drysdale, Sealer. And if we're going by best players, defensive players on the team, Yinning, Andrae. I don't need to see Gilbert or Juulsen. Nobody does. We certainly don't need to see Zamula. Well, that's probably your best starting 6 based on skill. Hey, we did it. There's no reason to force a Juulsen into the lineup. Can he mix in here and there? Absolutely. No problem. But to force him down our throats, especially when Risto's out right now, and I understand that those are like a 1-for-1 based on style, but this is really the only time Andre's really going to get to play unless there's another injury. But Zamula, and this is true. This is what they're worried about. 2 things. One, Zamula is like the translator for Michkov because Fedotov's gone. And Torts even said last year when he was kind of doing that for him, Zamula's game fell off a cliff. Well, it still seems to be off a cliff. And I know it's early, but it doesn't inspire anything. I'd rather see the young guy who's playing well get the chance than the guy who's been here for a while who just doesn't seem to be able to put it together. I don't know what's so special about the guy. I don't know what they see anymore. Yes, it's early, but we've seen a lot of Zamula. And it's like, if he got sent down, one, would you really be all that worried if he got claimed? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But, don't you want an environment where it's if you play and you play good and you give it your all, you're going to get an opportunity here? Because it seems like the deck is stacked completely against Andrae because of his size, because of his 5'9" size. And he's a similar style of player to Drysdale and even York. But so we have to have Zamula stuffed down our throats. That seems pretty silly. When you come out and say, we're trying to win this year, we're going to turn a corner, and then give me these BS excuses to have these other guys on the roster. And look, the whole Andrae thing isn't going to make or break whether Briere can turn the ship around and do a successful rebuild. But it is a little irritating, and it's a little reminiscent of some of the bad excuses we got from the previous regime. Not really comparing, but just understand the frustration here. You have a guy who it's not like he played bad or made a big mistake or anything. He came up for one game and played well in the 10 minutes he had, and he's already going back down because York's back over these other guys. I'm telling you, if Juulsen or God forbid Zamula, they make a really big mistake or a bad mistake or look really bad, we're all rightfully so going to freak out. And it's going to be guys, come on. You can't say one thing and then act a different way. You're big on, they drafted big guys. They're all about these big guys. Oh, where's Hunter McDonald? Remember that? Once upon a time, he was going to be great. Now I've heard they cooled on him a little bit, maybe because he's big doesn't make him good. And I'm being a little dramatic here, but at the same time, I would rather them roll with what just worked. Like you said, they're undefeated with Andrae in the lineup. And I'm not saying he's the reason they are, but you found a formula that worked. Maybe just stick with it a little bit. Give him a little bit of a leash here. No, he's already being sent back down because you have to have Zamula. Got to have him, and it's that's just frustration. And I'll stop before I just start repeating myself. But it is irritating.
So if this is true, and this was reported on Twitter from Kevin Kurz, he says also got into a little bit of a discussion about Emil Andrae, and thought Emil Andrae did enough to stay in the lineup. But again, he mentioned Tockett's reasoning. Andrae doesn't play PK. Flyers have taken too many penalties to going up elite power play. Like, just saying it like that is like, okay, got you. Makes sense. But stay out of the box, number one. And then, I think I'm with you on Andrae. I think everybody, is kind of, for the majority, it sounds like, want to see more Andrae. I will say, like, I don't really want guys like Sanheim and York, like, blocking, bombs from the point 10 minutes a game on the PK. Like, if those are your top guys and you need offense out of them, whatever it is, at some point in the game, it's a long season. Tockett's basically saying, I need bodies to chuck out there to absorb shots. Juleson, Zamula, whoever the other, Ginning. I need bodies to block pucks. And the bigger the body, the more likely that you are to block a puck. I get it. Stay out of the box, dude.
Not only that,
stop taking 5 penalties a game. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. But not only that, I feel like they've done a little bit better allowing the goalies to see the shots, particularly Vladar. Like, blocking shots, it doesn't work for all goalies. They like to see the shots coming in. Maybe suppress the shots the best you can, force bad angle, low percentage shots, and have the goalie make the save. You don't hate it to batter your defenseman. Like, look, Sealer has been a lot better this year, and he wasn't bad, but like, he's so steady back there. You almost forget he should be a third pairing guy because he's really stepped up when he's had to, and he's not blocking as many shots and like killing himself. And he's been more productive that way, at least from a defensive minded standpoint. And yeah, you can get around that. You don't need to give me these BS excuses if you just play a different style of game, which they kind of have done. And look, they may be 1-2 or 1-1 rather, but they've looked pretty good, all things considered, in these last 3 games. So I don't know why we're changing things up so much outside of getting Delorier out of the lineup and bumping Coots up to the first power play unit because he leads the team in points. That makes sense, So I mean, just put the best guys out there. I'm worried about the puzzle pieces later. Let's see who can play first. I get it. They want to turn in the corner. We need to play our defensive role guys. We got to get the big guys out there. These guys aren't going to be anywhere near our lineup, Zamula and Juleson, when we're actually competing for a playoff spot or, God forbid, in the playoffs. Andrae could be something. Andrae could even be a piece for something else. You see some fires starting to be maybe lit, some smoke anyway, in Buffalo. Like, maybe showcase a guy or two. So if a trade comes along, you can really make something happen. But no, let's put him in and if they're like, well, we're not going to play him, he's going to sit in the press box. Okay, well, yeah, he should definitely be playing. But I just truly feel like the bottom pair should be Yinning and Andrae. To me, that's the best possible pairing. If you're going up against a team you think is going to bang you a little bit more, maybe you bench him for a Juleson here and there. But it comes down to a few factors. Their BS excuses they're giving us, but mostly they're afraid they're going to lose them all on waivers. And I guess we're not afraid because I don't see much in the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it kind of seems like it is what it is at this point. Like, the writing's kind of on the wall kind of thing. Like, he's going to have to really, I don't know. He's not going to be a top 4 guy here. Right. And another thing, Kevin Kurz here, I think, can you see the screen here?
Yes.
This is kind of what we were saying now the last couple weeks. And look, I said something similar. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I was hoping that they would trade York. That's how much I like Emil Andrae. And I know that sounds crazy, blah, blah, blah. But you're going to get more for Cam York. But anyways, I digress. So now that they signed York, the writing is on the wall for Emil Andrae, right? Because you can't have Drysdale, York, Andrae. You just, unfortunately, right? That's the reality of it. And Kurz's tweet here pretty much says it. So Kurz's suspicion is that they may not view Andrae as a long-term hockey fit. That's fairly obvious. That's why he went down last year when Drysdale came back. Drysdale's still a player they believe in and has higher upside. So his development's prioritized. And, if that's how they're looking at it, I agree with that. Drysdale's upside is higher. He's a different player. His offensive ability, his offensive upside is higher. I think there's an argument to be made that Andrae's all-around game, especially right now, could be better than Drysdale's. I don't know. It's my opinion, and this kind of leads into our next topic here, because there's some Owen Tippett rumors going around now. I'm not sure if they're legitimate or not, or if it was just speculation, and maybe
Jim,
other guys have caught on to this. Go ahead.
Real quick, just before we move on from that, and I understand what Kevin Kurz is saying, and I understand the philosophy, but from the team perspective, they speak on that like, okay, well, we got Drysdale, so we're good. What about Drysdale tells you they're good? Like I think it should be something of a competition. Obviously, Andrae would get less opportunities because Drysdale does have a higher ceiling and more upside. And I've seen better skill because he's had more opportunity, but still, and he was a higher draft pick and all those things. And they have a lot invested in him and what they had to give up to get him. And I get all that, but like they speak upon it like, okay, we're set here, so we don't need this. I don't think we're set here by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't know if it's. I mean, that's not how I read it either. I still look Drysdale is a project. Like he hasn't had a full. Well, I guess if you count last year as a full season, but he was coming back from injury until December-ish. So you didn't really see a full season of healthy Drysdale.
You're right,
and they haven't really had their hands on him. Like he's 23 years old. He was playing in Anaheim, where you're seeing they can't develop shit on defense. They got the guy now, Jackson LeCombe, who was kind of come out of nowhere for them. But the guys who we thought were going to be developing in Anaheim, the Zellwegers, they got another guy, I can't remember his name, but we're not hearing about them yet, and we should be at this point. So how I see Drysdale is, okay, I don't know what the hell happened in Anaheim for 5 years, but we want to get our hands on you here and kind of build you back up. Right. And this is the first season with the Flyers. He's come into a year healthy. Right. This is technically his third year, second full season, second off season coming into a new season. I know there's a lot of this is it for Drysdale. He needs to really show something this year. I don't have that. I think, if he doesn't blow the doors off, he's a guy that you sign for, I don't know, a cheap bridge deal, and let him prove it. We gave Frost forever. Drysdale has that same offensive upside ability. Let him take his time and figure it out,
Yeah, and I agree with that. I really do, because he got screwed with Anaheim, but also with COVID and all that. And but for me, it's like this, and I've said this myself. This is the first year where I'm like, there's no excuses for Drysdale. This is the first time. Before, I was willing to step back, but I don't want to lose any assets or diminish any assets. Or God forbid a guy asks for a trade. I don't think that'll happen, but you never know, because we already have something else set in stone. And there's a spot for him on the team. It's not stylistically perfect, but is the team really in a position where they need to be stylistically perfect? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't get confused. This isn't a Andrae versus Drysdale situation. This is an Andrae versus anybody not named, York, Sanheim, Sealer, Drysdale opposition. There's room for both here if you really wanted to.
But this is the thing, though, right? Sometimes the player that you like gets moved.
Well, look, and I'm with you. And to get moved, though, they got to have value, and they got to be showcased. And he looked pretty good. And when I look at, maybe we'll just use this to move on to the next subject.
Yeah.
But when I see what's going on at Buffalo, and I want to maybe highlight some guys and showcase some guys, and if there's no room for him here, well, maybe it makes sense to show Andrae a little bit, show a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, and then he played 10 minutes against the defending champs and held his own.
He looked good. He's more held his own. That's what I'm saying. And his one game with the Phantoms, he had 2 assists. He looked great. I'm just saying, it's all there. And I'm just I just do not want them to diminish an asset. You can't blame me, because the previous regime did that crap all the time. And if they can, just don't waste it. Just don't waste it or don't think you have a sure thing. That's all I'm saying. And it's still hard to swallow when he's clearly better than 3 of the guys who are currently on the roster.
Look, it's been a while since the Flyers have traded a guy that I've been like, oh man, like I would have really liked to see him in orange and black. Like Emil Andrae, he'll be one of those guys for me because I just enjoy watching him play. Look, I'm not going to say the way we're talking about Andrae is that he's going to be like some kind of superstar. Like I think he could be a legitimate top 4 defenseman, power play quarterback if given the opportunity. It doesn't look like it's going to be here though. And I've kind of made peace with that, I think, right? Especially now that there's like trade rumors kicking up, and
as long as the returns there, then I'll live with anything.
He's kind of like the perfect throw-in. You know what I mean?
Well, that being said, like I think he could be more than a throw-in. Like you got it. How old is he now? 22, something like that, maybe younger.
Yeah,
like
22, 23.
if you're trading like a Tippett and a Andrae and a first-round pick, and I don't know, a Luchenko, I'm just throwing out names here, and you're trying to pry like a really like a really valuable asset from another team, like he'll look like more than just a throw-in. That'd be something they could work with, a particular team. And
well, yeah, I mean,
want them to see that.
Yeah, I didn't mean he was like just toss him into it. Like he's a player that another team's going to want. But if Owen Tippett's the main piece coming, back for the team, maybe Emil Andrae tips the scale. Like, oh, we're trading for a D. You can replace him with Andrae on a bottom pair, bump one of your other guys up, and you have the guy you want and Tippett, whatever it is. I didn't mean, just toss him in. You know what I mean?
Right. But at the same time, like we brought up Frost and the Farabee, and how underwhelming was that trade based on our perception of those players, like depending on who you are. I mean, I think a lot of people thought for both of them, they would have got something else. I don't want that to happen with a guy like Andrae, especially with how old he is. Like, oh, they got a third and a journeyman or something. You know what I mean? Something stupid like that. I really hope he's a part of a larger package and it's something significant, because unfortunately that's what this team is missing. I don't see anybody on defense coming to really save the day. I think Bonk will be okay. But I don't see anything significant there. What else do they have in the defensive prospects? Nothing. Centers, they didn't go center. Luchenko's it. Good luck.
All right. Let's move. All right. So there have been Owen Tippett's name has come up.
Shocking.
A few times in the last week or so. And look, scored a power play goal. He broke that streak.
Did you call Owen Tippett first goal of the season?
I don't know. Did he get it?
I think he did. I think, yeah, it was the first goal, wasn't it? Power play goal at that.
Did he really? Yeah, I honestly
I guess my Noah Juleson pick missed, but I think you nailed it.
That's funny. On the power play even.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, I'll say this. Like, the style that the Flyers play, I understand it. Like, Owen Tippett might not fit the style everyone else is capable of playing, right? Do I think he can score 35-plus goals? Absolutely. I think Buffalo also has the offensive talent to help him get there. The Flyers need star players. They need good players. And if there's a team out there that's got an idiot GM that's willing to trade one of their better defensemen or, a Tage Thompson, who's now in the media saying how, he doesn't want to talk about the past anymore. And well, guess what? You're in Buffalo and you suck. That's all you're going to be hearing about.
Long time.
Who knows? We've heard Buffalo and Philly, it feels like every season now for various types of players, but there could be something there.
Look, what Thompson and Dahlin have pretty much alluded to being like, look, if things don't turn around, we're going to probably be looking for a move or something here because we can't keep doing this. And it's their own fault. They can't really develop. They don't make trades. They don't sign anybody. I mean, I guess last year was the first time they have made 2 decent trades. I take that back. They did trade for Bynum Bynum and Josh Norris. They did make some pretty big trades, but were both of those trades last year, the last 2 years. Like, they haven't made the playoffs since they signed Ville Lano from us. That was 2012. Like, like that's over there. That is ridiculous. And they're looking like they're on another downward trend. I mean, they got to do something out there, and they got to do something drastic. Yes, it always comes up with us and them and whatnot, but they're 0-3 right now. I got a tweet here saying, at least at the time of the tweet, they're being outshot 18-4. like could they've already have quit? Like, I mean, my goodness.
For whatever reason, they hired Lindy Ruff. Like, that was a weird
retread.
hire.
Oh my God, you're right. It's because they don't know where else to do. Like, they'll go back to we know. They probably bring back Hasek if they could. Like, I mean, what are you gonna? They literally don't know what they're doing. The owner of the team, the Bragula family, I believe they spend a lot more money on Penn State and probably the Bills before they give a rat's ass about the Buffalo Sabres, and it shows. And, some of it's bad luck, but like, oh, they're winning. Look at that. There goes my my theory. I guess those shots were high quality shots, but I am watching them. Regardless of what happens tonight, I'm watching them closely because I really want them to fall off a cliff. I want them to have to make these decisions. I don't see that. Look at how tough the East is going to be for teams to make the playoffs. You really think Buffalo's going to make the playoffs? They're going to miss again. They're going to have to. They're like how we were a few years ago. They're going to have to make some decisions out there. They're going to have to move on from these guys. I mean, just I don't want to get too excited because a trade like that is monumental. And obviously we're talking about Dahlin, if not Tage Thompson, and in my world, both.
I mean, they have what we need, so
both positions. I mean,
if I'm Briere, like, name your price. We need one.
If I want a scenario to transpire where they are terrible again, and we are they're just like Dahlin, actually, or both of them are just like, look, we're done. We're demanding a trade. And Dahlin is my first pick. As much as we need a center, oh my God, Dahlin at his age and even his contract, oh my God, like, he's like a dark horse for like the Norris on that team. Like, that's saying something. I would give up some uncomfortable amount of deals to acquire a player like that. What he could do to transform our team. So I don't want to get too excited, but like, we always talk about, like, when the time comes and you see how the 2026 free agent class is drying up, like, you have to do something like this. They should be at the front of the line, and they should probably overpay just to get it done if it happens. Now, obviously, we're 3-4 games into the season. This is wishful thinking. I get all that. But when we're talking about the Andrae situation, we're talking about the Buffalo situation, the rumors that we didn't create, these are all out there already. It's definitely something to consider. I mean, how many years is that? She's got 6 more years at $11 million in this economy and this cap. I mean, that's a deal and a half for a guy like Dahlin.
Mm-hmm.
A top 5 defenseman potentially, probably. Like, I mean, oof.
Yeah,
oof.
You do whatever you can to get. If that's even possible, even the slightest possibility.
He's 25.
You need
He's
to
25 years old.
You need to get him.
Oh.
That would allow Sanheim to switch back to his natural side. Cam York switches down to where he should be on the second pair.
Probably goes in the deal.
Cam York?
Yeah, I think so. To get Dahlin, it's going to arm and a leg, but I still do it.
Yeah. You know what? Darlene's he's listed as lefty righty. Is he a left side defense playing on the right side?
Well, what hand is he?
He's left shot. Yeah.
He's left shot. Whatever.
That's interesting. It. Okay.
Make it work. Even Thompson's only 27 years old. My God, man.
Yeah. So interesting. I mean, it's something to keep an eye on at the very least. I mean, they have Owen Power, who is sort of underperformed there, not what they thought he was going to be, kind of thing. He has change of scenery guy written all over it. Only 22 years old. I'd be even okay with the Owen Power. Bowen Byram's name has come up multiple times in a 1-for-1 swap for Owen Tippett. I think the money match is pretty close.
The issue with him is, and I've heard this multiple places, it's not even the trade as it is so much the re-signing of him after those 2 years. Like, he is looking like a pretty solid second pair defenseman, and he wants not top pair money, and he's not there yet. And it's like, How much could he be asked for? He might not be worth the contract. I believe, I don't know how close they were to a deal, but it got to the point where Briere was talking to Byram's agent, and it got like uncomfortable with how much money he wanted. It's like, you're not there yet. Like, you have no, I don't know what the numbers were actually exchanged. I'm not going to make up what was actually said, but it got to the point where that was the deal breaker. It's like, there's no point in pursuing this any further with the amount of money he wants, So look, would I take him? Of course I would. He was like a top 5 pick, and but he'll be on his 3rd team at this point, and you're going to be empty. And we have the money to do it, but if you're going to if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Go all in, baby. Give me that Darlene. He's only a year older too. Oh my God.
Certainly be something to watch. Darlene. Who the hell were we just talking about? Byram.
Power's interesting. Already making 8.3.
Yeah.
I mean, with the cap going up.
See, I would have to assume that they would want to get out. I mean, this GM, I don't know what the hell. Let me look to see if it was Kevin Adams that signed Owen Power to that. I get it, because we're seeing a lot of that with these young guys getting out ahead and signing them to these big deals.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that Owen Power has shown the same things that guys like Lane Hudson and Jackson Lacombe, and there's one more guy I can't remember. All right, so he signed this. It started this year, so he signed it before.
Like a Brock Faber.
Yeah.
So
he'll be 28 when the deal ends.
So yeah, he's got plenty of time to really pony up.
He's put up decent numbers. Maybe he just see. I've heard different things, that Owen Power's a little bit soft, yada yada. I heard somebody said he needs to change his game a little bit, transform it a little bit, because he's big. He's got the body type. He just needs to toughen up. So we'll see. Buffalo's a team to watch, and this is fun. If what Briere said's true, we're in the hockey trade territory now. We're looking to add, not subtract, blah, blah, blah. Look, you have a team like the Sabres. They stink. They have what you need, defense, center, whatever you want to trade for. And they have the most important thing of all, Jack. Do you know what that is? The moron GM. It's time. This is it. This is the team. Hone in on them. Work them all season. Doesn't have to be trade deadline, whatever it is. Make him he doesn't want to talk to you anymore. He wants to do the deal just to shut you up. Oh my God, this is the chance, Jack. It's going to be the Sabres. We're 3 games in. We're talking trades.
Let's talk one more player, just real quick.
Go.
Quinn Hughes. Taka connection. Now, only reason I'm bringing this up is because there is an issue with this. I don't know why they did this, but Vancouver's, I guess it was their owner. I don't even think it was a GM. Basically let it known that like Quinn has basically said, like, I want to play with my brothers. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you bring him to Philly where I thought there was a chance that Luke and Jack could become free agents when Luke was so iffy about his deal, but he just signed for 8 years. So he's not going anywhere. Jack's still got another 4 or 5 years on his deal. Like, I just doubt that he would go anywhere but Vancouver or New Jersey. And I think you need a lot more than a coach to bring you somewhere, because coaches come and go. So I don't know. I don't think, the answer to your question, Linda, is I don't think he does. I really don't. I don't see a scenario where Tockett's our coach for the next 8 years, starting this year. Like, even 10. I don't see a scenario where Quinn feels comfortable enough with one of the reasons he wants to sign besides money. He's not playing with his brothers. If anything, he's going to play against his brothers a lot. And then Tocchet could be out of there if things don't go well within a year or 2 or 3 of when he signs. So there's a big issue there. I know people have been saying it, but I don't see how it's, from his perspective, how it makes sense for what he would want for him to come to Philly, essentially. And I don't think it's worth giving up a ton of assets unless a sign and trade is locked in. So I don't see it happening. But I just wanted your thoughts.
Mine?
On Quinn Hughes. Yeah. Do you see a world where they acquire Quinn Hughes?
No, not really. No, unfortunately. To me, I see, like, if I had to choose, does a trade happen with Buffalo, or do they sign Quinn Hughes in the summer, what would entice Quinn Hughes to go play for Philly? Like you said, I mean, if it was me, do I want to go play for some coach or go play with my brothers? It's an easy decision for me, So yeah, look, they're going to have to trade for guys. I mean, look, how long have we been saying that for, Jack? Like, the Flyers are going to bring talent to this team. It's going to have to be through trade.
Yes, and that's why you need to jump.
Yeah,
I would love Quinn Hughes. I don't see from his perspective why Philly. I want to play with my brothers. I'm going to go to their rival. I love Tocchet. By the time I get there, how many years is he going to have left? Do we have to win right away? Like, I don't see it.
No, me neither. All right, so let's kind of move off some of the fun stuff there, and let's get into some of the tougher stuff to talk about, and that is what's going on with Matvei Michkov, Jack. So Spit and Chicklets, I think this was yesterday, came out with something and said a little birdie from within or around the Flyers organization, at least that's how Whit made it sound like, says he plays a lot of golf around the Philly area. There's a lot of great golf courses, kind of saying that, he played golf with somebody that knows. And they said Matvei Michkov came into camp out of shape. All right. And we didn't know anything about this as Flyers fans. Nobody thought anything watching Michkov. They had all camp to say, hey, Michkov looks out of shape. All preseason to say, hey, Michkov doesn't look right. Nobody said anything. Flyers certainly didn't say anything. It almost seemed just hours later, Rick Tocchet said during a press conference that Michkov's behind the eight ball a little bit because he sustained an ankle injury over the summer. Didn't say how. I think he said maybe during training, right? And if that was the case, why not get out ahead of that? Why not put it out there to begin the season? Michkov's behind. He got hurt. Yada, yada. And everything's fine. Everyone's cool. We would understand that. Guy got hurt training. He trains like a bull. We've all gotten hurt training at some point in our lives, whatever it is. Right?
Yeah, and I heard.
But to hide it, it is like, what happened here? What's going on?
And it's because he didn't look that way in preseason, but I understand you're not playing against top NHL talent either.
No.
But we had no reason to believe this until all of a sudden, and it's and his ice time was reduced. He wasn't out there during overtime. Where have I heard that before? Michkov was benched in overtime.
Yeah.
I heard that, big key moments of the game. Weird. So strange. But yeah, it is what it is. And I heard the car accident whole fiasco. I heard that's not true at all. It was while he was training, and I believe he was just asked about it, and his translator was telling him, and they seem pretty confident he's going to come out of it, and I hope so. They'll get it figured out. It's not unheard of. He's a very young kid. He's a culture shock and all that whatnot, and I definitely agree with that. Ray Whitney, he was Penguin. He despises Philly.
So I get that, but here's the thing: Tocchet confirmed it.
No, the ankle injury is whatever the injury was, he confirmed it for sure. But I don't know how serious it is. Like, if he turns around on tomorrow and has a goal and an assist, we're gonna start forgetting about this.
Right.
I think they just try to make it seem like it's a lot worse than it is. Like how they try to tell us he was a bad teammate.
Well, my point is, though, confirming that he had an ankle injury and that he's, still trying to get up to speed confirms that he came into camp out of shape. That's all.
Well, where's the rope test when you need it? We'd have known after the first day.
For real. But that's all I'm saying, though, is Tocchet, when he said the thing about the ankle, confirmed that was correct, that Michkov did come in out of shape. And I don't know if I believe that ankle thing.
Well, to your point, why hide it? Why is it a surprise? Why did it come out of nowhere?
Right. Yeah. If it was a thing, just say it. He had an ankle problem over the summer.
What else could it be? Do you think he's just out of shape? If say it's not the ankle thing, say they're covering for him. Do you think he's just out of shape?
Big. I think I'm just going to assume, right? So there's two things. There's always two things here, right? Two thoughts always. My first thought would be to always assume innocence. Maybe this kid hit the weight room too hard. Maybe he got too big. Maybe he bulked up too much. right? And takes away from your speed and things and like that, yada, yada. So throughout the course of a season, you lose weight because all you're doing is cardio. All you're doing is skating every single day, blah, blah, blah. You're not lifting the same way you are during the summer. So maybe he got too big. The second thing is, look, after you have the year that he had his rookie season, based off what we hear about him, I don't think we have to worry about this, but he's still a kid.
Yeah.
Right. First season in the NHL. He's basically a god in Philadelphia already. Right. So even though he sounds really mature and saying all the right things, still a kid. Like, let's not forget, this all can go to your head a little bit. It's the off season. This kid has all this money. Maybe he's out partying, yada, yada. Maybe he's getting big off booze, food. What the hell was he doing out in Dubai? Like, that was kind of swept under the rug. We didn't really even talk about it all that much. I mean, we could probably guess what was going on out there, right? Like, you don't go to Dubai for family vacations, at least not from what I heard, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But what happened? And what's going on now? Because it drug into the season.
Yeah, and I really just think it just boils down to a few things, and one of them is he's a kid. I do think he tried to put on weight, and maybe that's an excuse to like intake extra calories, I guess, when you shouldn't be. And then you're in the off seasons, so your training regimen isn't the same. I don't know which player it was in training camp, but they were talking about putting on weight. And he's like, yeah, you just eat till you're sick. Well, when you're playing, that makes sense, but when you're not playing, that's when you get to become a little bit of a chubster. And I mean, this isn't unheard of in any sport, really, So, he's a kid. It is what it is. It's what they call that when we all went to college, a freshman 15. It is.
That's what I'm worried about, though. Like,
they'll figure it out, though. He's got too much of that Michael Jordan mentality where he's like, I didn't play. He could have a hat trick, and he'd be like, I didn't play well enough. You know what I mean? So I truly believe he'll get back into shape. He'll figure things out. He'll work with the coaching staff. And they're winning despite all this. I shouldn't say they're winning. They're playing very.
I just have antennas going up like something's fishy.
They got 3 points out of a possible 6. So yeah, but I mean, despite Michkov really not doing anything, if anything, taking penalties, they still have looked good against very good opponents in the first 3 games. So, and that's with a defense that is like, you look at it on paper, you're like, holy cow, we're gonna get smoked. So, there is that. He's got time. Once we hit 10 games and he's still like this, okay, then I'm going to panic a little bit. But I don't see that happening.
I mean, I hope you're right. He doesn't look anywhere close to where he needs to be.
I hope I'm right too. Let's also put him with more talented players too. Let's move it around. I liked him keep him with Coots and TK until something happens, or put him with Zegras. We'll see.
Yeah, it is interesting though. Like, if this was Tortorella doing this, could you imagine?
Oh my! It'd be all his fault.
Yeah, that's all you'd be reading about. Is Tortorella.
Tortorella fed him the sandwiches himself. He hates him. He hates you. He hates me. Yeah, he hates the team.
Tortorella fed him the sandwiches. That's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, anything to screw up everybody's development and make them all want to jump off the bridge. I just I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that crap anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because we're seeing the same thing with the new coach.
He stopped them for not playing well, which is normally what coaches do. I know that Torts was a fucking lunatic. Sorry. But it's not unheard of that, coaches are like, oh, yeah, you're not playing that well. I'm going to put the guys who are playing that well because we're trying to win. I get it. Doesn't mean he won't come out of it. If you play a guy who is not playing good anyway, he's most likely not going to come out of it, or it's going to take a lot longer. So, yeah, whatever. They're going to figure it out. I have full confidence that they're going to figure it out. Today. Ask me in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we have all season to make a huge deal about this. So it's going to be something I think we're going to monitor, So, yeah. All right, let's move on. So we're down to the last 5-6 minutes of the show. I don't think we spent enough time on one particular player, Jack. We talked about Coots. We talked about Tippett, Andrae, Michkov. The guy that's keeping them in a lot of these games, and a guy that maybe is doing exactly what we needed and more, Dan Vladar. Stabilizing the position in goal. and maybe even helping the Flyers sneak out a few points here against Carolina. I'm sorry, was that Urson against Carolina? I'm sorry.
It was.
It looked very good against both games against Florida. Gave up just 2 goals in each game. I think he stopped 27 of 29 shots in game 1. I can't recall what happened in game 3. The Flyers got him a win, first home game of the year. Dan Vladar, Jack, what do you think?
I mean, as of now, I'm a big fan. It's like we talked about this during the offseason. We're like, look, we understand the numbers aren't there, and that at the very best, Urson will have some kind of guy to give him some kind of rest who's not a catastrophe in net, and maybe that'll make him a little bit better. But we kind of alluded to, like, maybe there is something there. When you look at what Vladar was in Calgary, his numbers weren't perfect, but there were stretches where he was good. He's still young enough where he can do something. And he left Calgary because he didn't want to be a backup. He knows Dustin Wolf's the guy. He goes, give me a place where I could have an opportunity to start. He's a big guy. He's shown talent in the past. From what I understand, he was used to shelter Wolf a lot, played a lot of the, tougher opponents away and what have you. And I believe another aspect we're not considering is, this is like Dillaball's make or break season as well. And from what I understand, he was one of the voices saying, if you're going to have to bring somebody in, because Jake Allen re-signed for really low money, but a long term, and Gibson got traded to Detroit and whatever, give me, if you have to bring somebody in, give me Dan Vladar. And maybe he saw something and he's right. It's 2 games and it's against the same team, but I've seen him twice and I've liked pretty much his entire game, whistle to whistle, in both of those games. And I really can't complain. And it's not so much that he, bailed the team out or made a 10-bell save when it mattered most. And he definitely made some big saves. It's just how he plays the position and how big he is in net. It's like he's like a poor man's Ben Bishop if we're lucky. And I would be that can go, just the size alone can take you places. And if he can actually look like a normal goalie, then please give me that all day. And again, it's very small sample size. I get it, but you're asking me what I saw this past week, and he's my number 1 goalie right now. I want to see, and I understand they got to see what they have in Urson. Urson definitely deserves another start. It's not like he had a bad game against Carolina, but if we're trying to win a game, I'm taking Vladar, and let's see what happens, because I was very happy with what I've seen so far. Oh, you're on mute.
Thanks. Everybody would have missed my fun fact here. So, fun fact, Dan Vladar is the first Flyers goalie since Roman Cechmanek to have a save percentage above 900.
What?
Wow. Dan Vladar, everyone.
Since Cechmanek. What?
I'm just kidding.
There's no way that's true.
2 games into the season, Vladar has a 9.33 save percentage and a 2.02 goals against average. Just an outstanding start, limiting Florida to just 2 goals a game in each game. 9.41 save percentage opening night and a 9.23 save percentage against Florida at home the other night. So certainly inspiring numbers, inspiring play, and a cool last name. So hopefully we see more of it. And if we can sneak Urson in, maybe Vladar protects Urson. But you know what I mean? Not really protect, but get Vladar out there for the tough ones and give the softer ones to Urs. Maybe pump up his confidence a little bit. Let's get them both going.
No, I'm very happy with Vladar. Seriously, it's not so much of a let's give Urson somebody who's competent so he can rest. It's like legitimate competition for the spot.
Yeah.
And that's even better.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. I mean, for me, that's the most inspiring thing so far is the goaltender position. The offense has been okay, but I mean, Zegras had an amazing assist the other night to Couturier. There's other guys that we can talk about. I think we just talked about, the bigger topics so far. I don't want to, we don't have to observe everyone.
The only player we forgot to mention who deserves it is Bobby Brink. I mean, really, that third line is more like their first line, it feels like. but they're all fantastic. But Brink, especially against Carolina, I'm so glad he got an empty netter against Florida the next night. I guess we didn't talk about the disallowed goal. Did you see the entirety of that Carolina game, and particularly overtime? You're on mute again, you son of a...
Sorry. I saw the goal. If we've seen that call go both ways. Like how many times throughout the years? It was pretty obvious that the goalie initiated contact. The argument that I heard was he initiated contact because Sanheim was skating into, like, the way to solve it was Sanheim in the crease.
Sanheim was in the crease, and he
goalie
went
interference. Then
so why not just bring back the crease rule? Then
they should. That would make it easier. That's what I'm saying.
This is so dumb. You
bring
enter the crease. You enter the crease. He gives him the stone cold stunner, but we score. Oh, doesn't count. I'm like, come on,
bring it back.
This is dumb. This is so dumb. It makes me angry.
Well, only because there's too much. Like, there's too much to go on. Like, it leaves it up to the referee to decide. Just stick to the rule. Whatever the rule is, go off the rule.
At the same time, change the rule. The rule's stupid. The rule is dumb. If you enter the crease, the goalie he can hit you. He can just full on just take you out. And if the goal goes in, the puck goes in, it's no goal. That's like completely why they didn't take away the crease rule to have that BS happen. Like, why is there no common sense in this sport? It irks me to no end. He clearly put himself out of position. There's no discussion on this. He completely went after Sanheim. I don't know, what, he give him a butt rub or something? I have no idea why he did any of that. And it's an easy goal, his own fault, and he gets recalled. Now, a team that's off the ice has to come back onto the ice, and if you're a goalie, your angles are all off. I'm making excuses a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, no wonder they scored right away. He was taking his pads off a second ago. And now he's back out there, like, full-blown, let's go. This is just stupid. It's Bush League. It hurts the integrity of the game. It's a stupid rule. It's the NHL's version of the NFL's catch rule. Whenever, he didn't make a football move. Does anybody know what the hell that means? No, it's completely made up. It's BS. It's stupid. And as I said, it hurts the integrity of the game. Make something just simple, like just to either take away the crease, or if he impedes the goalie from making a save, it's goaltender interference. That's it. It's flat. It's easy. It makes sense. Did he interfere with the goalie making a save? No, the goalie did that. Okay, goal's good. It's as simple as that. Night and day. It's black and white. It's easy. It makes sense. I don't understand why they got to make this so hard. I think so they can control games and outcomes or something, maybe. Maybe I'm on a tangent conspiracy theory there. But when it comes down to common sense, it has left the building, and I cannot stand how stupid this league can be sometimes. Sorry, it ran over.
Wow, you're waiting to get that out, huh?
Yeah, I really was. You were going to try to sign off without talking about it, and I wasn't going to let it happen.
And now you got to do the fans of Philly read. Do it in the same fired up voice, all right?
Oh, you want me to try?
Yeah.
I will try. Let me find it real quick, Jim. Keep everybody occupied.
If it was a playoff game and it was Bennett instead of Travis Sanheim, it would have been refused from explicit. That's interesting.
That's not that crazy, though. What did I just say earlier? It's a way they could potentially, conspiracy theory, made up a word there, control the outcome of the game. I'm just saying. When it all comes to dollars and cents, I believe almost anything. Look at Pittsburgh and when they got Crosby, how much BS went down there. All right, I'm ready when you are.
Go for it.
All right, guys, quick timeout, because if you're a diehard Philly fan, you need to hear about this. Fans of Philly is the ultimate way to hit the road with the Birds, the Flyers, the Phillies, or even the Sixers. We're talking full travel packages, your hotel, your transportation, and yes, the tailgates that are basically legendary at this point, all taken care of for you. No stress, no scrambling for tickets, no worrying about where you're staying. You just show up, throw in your jersey, and enjoy the ride with your fellow diehard Philly fans. So whether it's flying out to see the Eagles take over an opponent's arena, cheering on the Flyers in enemy territory, or making it a full weekend getaway for the Phillies and Sixers games, fans of Phillies have you covered. Trust me, this is the closest you'll get to feeling how the players feel when they walk into the arena, when they roll into the opponent's town, because the takeover is real. So check them out Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Planning your next Philly sports road trip today. That's Fans of Philly, phfansophilly.com, where every away game feels like a home game.
All right, great job, Jack.
Way too much. The first couple paragraphs were good, and then I just got a little too crazy.
That's all right. You're hyped up.
I'm sorry. I tried.
All right. Well, we made it over an hour tonight. That was an easy episode. I mean, it's hockey season's back, full swing. Let's take a look at their schedule. Flyers are 1-1-1. I believe they're third from the bottom in the Metro as we speak. Some tough games coming up. They have the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow night. I think I'll be up in the box tomorrow night. So for the first time this year. So that'll be fun. And then they're home again. I mean, they're home. What is that? 6 of the next 7 games? That's crazy. So Winnipeg Thursday, Minnesota Saturday. Everyone's talking about Zeev Buium. That's interesting. We'll get his first taste of the Philly crowd then. And then Seattle at home on Monday. So that's the next 3 games there. 2 more games to round out the week. How do you see them going against Winnipeg and Minnesota, Jack?
All right, so Winnipeg's tough. Although I do like how they're playing, but that being said, I think Urson's going to get the start. They probably lose that game. I do think they're going to give the Wild a run for their money. I think they'll win that game. But then they'll schedule, lightens, at least on paper, lightens up a little bit the next week, and I think they'll start to do a little more damage then. So I got them going 1-1 the rest of this week into next week. I think they can beat Seattle.
Yeah.
I like what I'm seeing here, especially if Michkov comes out of his shell, we'll say, a little bit. Vladar gets the majority of those starts. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something funny to say. You said get him out of his shell. I was going to make a fat joke, but
about a turtle.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. All right.
It's canceled.
Yeah, 1-1. So I think that's fair. They played Florida pretty tough. We'll see if they can carry it over into Winnipeg. I'm going to change my expectations a little bit here. I was hoping to see a little bit more high-flying offensive type stuff, but that was kind of foolish of me to think about, considering Rick Tocchet is the coach and the way that his teams have played in the past. He's gotten a lot out of teams that, frankly, aren't as talented, I think, as the Flyers are right now. The Flyers have some talent on the roster. We'll see. I feel silly for saying this, but I think that they could maybe upset Winnipeg if they play like they did on Monday. And we'll see. Saturday, before the season started, I'm like, damn, when are they going to get their first win? I don't know. Maybe Seattle. Since you took 1-1, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. How about that? That's fair. I don't know who the overtime game's against. I'm going to go 1-1.
No, I like that. I think they probably go to maybe get a point against Winnipeg, and I think they beat Minnesota. It's funny. We're just getting more and more villains that have nothing really to do with us. We got Anaheim with Cutter. Now we got Minnesota with Zeev Buium, and we'll just see what else comes out after that. I mean, especially if we start trading players.
There's a B-Rad here. No upset here, Jim. We're better than Winnipeg. How about that?
Trophy team.
How about that from B-Rad?
Look, you're getting regular season Hellebuck. So keep that in mind. It's not playoff Hellebuck. It's regular season Hellebuck. Big difference. Montreal with Demedev, he's absolutely right. We have enemies everywhere now. Good. That's when Philly's the best. When everybody hates us and we hate them all even more back, that's when we are at our best. So let's go.
Yeah. All right, let's end it on that note there. Let me take this screen down here so you guys can, we can give you a proper goodbye. Where the hell's the sharing? Okay, here we go. All right, boys and girls. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, please make sure to subscribe and help us on our quest for 2,000 YouTube subscribers. I think we're around 1650, 1660, something like that.
Let's go.
Yeah, give us a like. Leave a comment for us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Set alerts so you're first to know when we drop a new show. And for all of our latest episodes, head over to our YouTube page at HWYT. You can follow us on Twitter as well, or X as you might call it, at HWHockeyX. So for Jack, I'm Jim. We're going to sign off our first show in the new season, Jack, of the new Flyer season. Felt good to actually talk about relevant Flyers hockey. We didn't even get to prospect talk. We'll have to save that for next week. Right. So if you guys haven't seen if you want updates on prospects, go check out. I put a video out on the Phantoms and I put an NCAA video out on Monday. So go get updated. Once again, thank you all for watching. In the meantime, don't forget to keep it high, keep it wide. We'll see you next time on HW Hockey. Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Thank you.